I was worried the calendar invite had fallen off, so I'm glad people are finding their way in. Let's see here. Give it another minute or so. Let me see if Alexi's coming.
Hey, Dan, on the VFIO, MMIO thing we discussed last time.
Yeah.
I know you sent a note back and there was a response back. So it looks like there's an agreement that we can proceed, right? Is that how I should interpret it?
Um, yeah, but my read of that is that if we can make VSOC, I mean, so James's contention was that we should be able to make VSOC land in the kernel, and that he would want to see that approach, uh, because then we can connect it to other planes and on the system. Um, I'm not entirely convinced by that argument, but the main reason for doing something similar was because of the whole, hey, we can't get a we can't we would have VSOC would have to go all the way through to the guest VM.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, but so yeah, if we can build a kernel socket client, I think that would work. The reason I had with or VSOC on this slide was because I'm not sure that we're going to wait for it in the near term, meaning uh, that at least ARM's pretty far along on their guest request implementation. I think AMD has theirs too. So like I think if we build it quickly, then it can replace things. Like so it's basically race now it's in a race. Um, if we get other stuff ready and this is not ready and a guest request implementation is ready, I think we would probably go with guest request and look to back it out or revise it over time, like prevent new implementations from going in. But like I think we're kind of in a first mover situation where we will go ahead with kind of the first solution that shows up and then figure out from there. I don't know if I don't know if that makes sense. Basically, yes, go ahead, try to build the vhost thing, the vsoc thing.
Oh, so we should build the VSOC thing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meaning that like that was the result of the discussion. Like I wasn't able to convince
Hmm.
James that we needed something else different. I mean, um,
Okay.
I
Y-
mean,
Go.
do you have? I mean, but you said you've already taken a look at the Red MMIO thing, and it's
No, I'm still looking at it, right? I'm new to this one, so I'm still slowly looking at it. There were other priorities as well in the last couple of weeks. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't made a lot of progress, but I thought there was a go ahead. Maybe I misunderstood, but um, okay. So, but do you have like any prior art on the VSOC that we can base our new stuff on, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, so James linked the kernel socket API. So basically, if you can use a VSOC user space example, you should be able to translate that into a kernel VSOC example, and
Okay.
that should be able to pull things over.
Okay. Okay. Got it. I'll follow that path then. Yep.
Okay. Um, yeah, you mentioned distractions the past couple weeks. Like I haven't rolled the staging tree in a while, and that is my next. I've cleared my plate, and that's my next step here. Um, this is going to include Anish's recent work on this DMA capable proposal, which I think it really cleans things up and gets us into a mode where the DMA layer can automatically figure out what we need to do based on the device capabilities, based on the current settings. So I'm going to pull that in and merge it with the device trust proposal. And
Okay.
so you should be able to say, um, um, echo. So basically, instead of accept, we'll say that we now trust this device to operate at a level that's within the TCB, and then the DMA API will automatically learn. Okay, next time this device does a DMA allocation or mapping, um, it will ask for the private address, the encrypted address.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see if I can link. I'll put a link in the chat to this patch that if folks haven't seen it, but this is the patch that I'm talking about. Because yeah, that was a stumbling block of how do we get the kernel out of the mode of forcing bounce buffering everywhere
Mm-hmm.
in a clean way, and so this is that proposal. Anish is not here. I wanted to talk to him about uh, stage one translation. Like I don't think we need to have, like, I know people want to get there and have stage one IOMU support in the guest. That's not a requirement, but I wanted to start understanding what that dynamic, because it is going to be dynamic basically based on what trust level you have. So whether you want to use the S1 or not, and does your addressing change when you attach to it? But I guess we'll stay that for another time when I can arrange for Anish to be here. We can talk about that. So actually, we kind of started off with your open about, hey, what do we do next with the VirtIO pipe? But were there any other opens that people wanted to talk about? If not, that's okay. It might be a short meeting. The other, so this not for the guest side, but for the host side, we're looking at situations where we want to support link IDE in addition to selected stream IDE. And this is for cases where you want to have more local, so like, let me back up. There's currently a proposal on the list about how to do raw SPDM sessions for PCI CMA. So you can ask, even if you don't have a TIO device or a TDIS device, you can still ask the kernel to say, hey, check certificates and tell me and set up an SPDM session, and that gives you some some details that you're talking, that at least your SPDM session is talking to an authentic device that you trust. It doesn't give you any kind of binding to the link or the interface, but at least gives you that level. And the interface for that is asking the kernel, say, hey, connect to this native SPDM TSM driver. And then if you want more features, you ask for it to connect to the platform TSM, which can do full TDISP and things like this, and device assignment for virtual functions. Alexi had asked about Link IDE, and I didn't have a good story until now, which is, I think, given we're going to have different levels of TSM capabilities, so a TSM that can only do authentication, a TSM that can do the full selective stream, we'll just have another TSM instance, and that one will do Link IDE. And the benefit of Link IDE is that even your config cycles are protected. So it's good for local physical device security if you're not doing device assignment. So that is something else that's going to be in the next proposal. But where we need, I don't know if we, I'm not sure help is the right word. Like the DMA buff maintainer is opposed to any implementation that allows you to get physical addresses out of, allows you to convey physical addresses between exporters and importers. And I know TDS Connect depends on that. I know TIO depends on that. I believe ARM CCA also has a dependency on that capability. I think so the staging tree is going to continue to carry a hack for that. And we have to basically continue to fight that fight with Christian upstream. It doesn't block making progress on the guest side, but on the host side, it is a blocker. That discussion is going on over here. But there's Lexi.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Hey, no worries. I was about to say we're not going to have much to talk about if we don't have others doing the low-level implementations here. But my big question for you is I want to move the staging tree forward, but really I want to really focus on getting a mainline phase 2 guest side proof of concept up and running and in the staging tree, and if not, and start getting some of the stuff upstream. And the staging tree has been stalled a little bit at 619, and I saw on the Discord chat that you're also kind of stuck at 619. What's missing on your side also for rebasing to a 7.x baseline?
Well, I can rebase, and it will probably even work. It's just I have the same kernel for the host and the guest. And for the host, I want in-place memory conversion. And that stuff is what we have now is 619 still, which will become 7.0 soon, just not yet. But if it's just for the guest, yes, I think I can move to 7.0 easy enough. But one of the things I want from the guest support is that those changes in DMA layer about not forcing software TLB anymore, and other things which Anish is working on.
Yeah.
And there are like 8 patches from him. So I'm trying to test this, and then I can actually push out to my staging tree and rebase on 7.0. And
Why do you have a dependency on in-place conversion?
sorry?
I said, why do you have a dependency on in-place conversion?
Because that's the way how it works now in my host tree. I don't want to do this discard manager and QEMU and do map and map constantly, and just easier this way.
Okay.
Because I can map guest memory once and not touch this IOMMU mapping on the host ever again, which is sweet.
Okay.
And we finally figured out MMIO reporting offset. So I can actually now we'll be able to calculate offset into the bar soon, the same way Anish does. So we're good there too.
That should be common code, right? Like we shouldn't need to have interface report parsing that's separate, right? That's per architecture.
Correct.
Okay. We'll get that going. Before you came on, I was talking about. Well, we're also talking about the transport, this blob transport interface, and I think we're kind of at the point now where we're gonna have to race race implementation. This like whichever one gets ready first. So if somebody's able to get VSOC going, we'll switch to that, and if that's first, great. If not, we'll probably at least the first guest request implementation that goes upstream is going to be just passing message passing over guest request. Because
do we have volunteers?
We have volunteers for the VSOC, like Vivek's on and is looking at the VSOC work, but we're not making it a hard dependency right for now. I mean, it'd be great if we had it, and then we could switch to it. So it's kind of a whichever gets there first situation.
Cool. About this device trust levels.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have any patches soon?
That's so yeah. This is my yes. I've cleared my plate, and that's the next thing.
And it will be 7.0 based, right?
It'll be 7x based. The have you started looking at all at stage 1 support? Not that I need stage 1 support at all, but I just need a coherent story about what do the trust levels mean when we have a stage 1 IOMMU. Or your stuff is all DMA direct for now, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure what you call stage 1. There is one stage right now in my stuff.
I'm talking like the difference between pass through and having a virtual IOMMU.
There is no virtual IOMMU yet. Correct.
Right. So the question is, when do I need to need to figure out what the trust level means when we have in the presence of a stage one.
Oh,
But I think we leave that out for now.
see, I say there is no via IOMMU, but guest is aware it's a guest, and guest is aware it needs to enable SDTE, which is kind of via IOMMU.
Kind of,
Just
yeah.
page size is basically the whole guest memory.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need clarity on the states. Okay.
Yeah. You, you you saw the result of that conversation with Christian and Jason, where Christian said no, he's not going to allow a physical buffer pass through DMA buff.
But it was like last year, no?
Well, no, this was the recent one where Jason reworked it, and he still had a kind of a private IOMMUFD only way to do it, and Christian still said no to that. So we're kind of stuck a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I will have a look. Kind of missed it. So we don't want to do DMA buff in VFIO? Well, Christian doesn't want to.
Christian doesn't want to. So it might be a case of just showing how many implementations are sharing that same one, what they want the same thing, and like basically try to get Christian to change his mind. But at this point, yeah, we're kind of stuck.
Cool.
I guess the last thing I had was I remember you talked a while back about do we need to support Link IDE, and I said, oh no, we don't need to support Link IDE. Well, now now I think we need to support Link IDE, if only because that is a Link IDE offers physical link protection for config cycles and these kind of things. So it's something you would use for bare metal, and I think I'm repeating myself from before when you came on, but Lucas and team are doing the SPDM TSM. We have a selective stream TSM for our platform device, for our platform TSMs, and I'm thinking about just instantiating another TSM, and that will be the Link IDE TSM. And so basically, you pick which one based on what security properties you want. Do you want bare metal security? Do you want TDIS security? Do you only want SPDM sessions and native authentication? And so that will all just be selected by which TSM you pick. So I'll put that also in the next spin of the patches.
Okay.
Pretty straightforward.
Cool.
But other than that, I don't have anything else.
Last time I talked to NVIDIA folks, they asked me if someone is working in actual attestation. And I remember someone volunteered in this call. Who's that guy from Microsoft?
Chris O, or
I think David? No. Someone volunteered to do something about it. And NVIDIA is doing it.
from the guest side or from the kernel side? I mean, from the user space like attestation provider or the kernel side?
Yep. User space guest.
Okay.
Or because you'll be doing it anyway. Well, NVIDIA is doing it anyway, they said. They may synchronize with someone. And I thought someone expressed interest of doing it in one of these calls. But since then, nothing happened. So I was wondering if anything is happening or not.
If you have a name for me, I can probably look it up. But you're talking about like a system D or a distro component that collects device evidence and lets you write policy.
Something like that.
Because I know NVIDIA has something like that, like that's kind of pre-TDIS, but I'm not aware of anything that's going into distros like system D or that kind of thing. But yeah, if you give me a name, I can try to. I'll ask around. I'll ask around and see if somebody's building that. Then I'm also interested in that too.
Where do you keep these minutes you're typing? Because I will go to older ones and see if I find traces.
I can put it. I can upload these to Discord. I don't think I collect. I should have collected. What I should start doing is collecting names, but these are also recorded, so you can also pull transcripts off of YouTube, I think, too.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I will throw my short notes also in the Discord channel.
So someone actually asked for link IDE now?
So, well, yeah, I mean, it was something that I had been looking at before I made the transition. People asked about it, and I'm like, I don't think we need it. But I just overlooked the fact that like link IDE. So for not when you don't want it to assign the device, when you just kind of want to do local protection, it gives you config cycle protection too. And so these are for folks. It basically completes the Linux story about, hey, like, do you just care about authentication? Do you care about physical local security? Do you care about virtual device assignment? And so it kind of completes the whole story.
Okay, so it's a good thing to have, not like some customer is pushing you. Let's have it done.
Yeah, and lets us I mean, I've heard people ask about it, but yeah, nobody's gotten to the point of pushing it. But like, you might as well have a story at this point, so that we're not like guessing later. We're trying to shoehorn it into the existing stuff.
Okay, I see.
Okay.
Internally, I was asked another question: if anyone considering accepting devices before guest OS is booted, like in something what we call as VSM.
So like
sort of bias kind of thing.
Like an assisted accept, like it's still being accepted by the guest, but but SVSM is doing the work, and then all the
right. Well, like for the clueless guest.
But if it's a clueless guest, then the guest would never even need to know about the trust level, because it would just be a device. It would just, right, like it would hide everything.
Correct. People would be still dealing with TDISP and that bias formatting. And is it just us, or somebody else is doing similar stuff on ARM, on Intel?
I mean, isn't that also what the the OpenHDM Microsoft solution is doing? Especially for like Windows guests, you want to.
It's one of those things, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're not the only ones.
Paravisor.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's only done on AMD for now. Well, people talk about AMD for this matter, for SVSM.
I think mostly because I think that's the AMD has the VMPL.
Right.
And everything else makes it more difficult.
Okay.
Okay. But we don't need to stay the full hour. If there's other things to talk about, I can stay on, but otherwise I can give you guys some time back. Any last topics? And I'll try to get Anish here because I wanted to get his view on what's next with the DMA capable patch set. I think it looks good. Makes things a lot easier for managing software IoT-LB. So I'll pull that in. And
I mean, it's good. Then we decouple software TLB from direct DMA. Some clarity. It's better.
Yeah.
But when I see go to, and when it can be easily avoided, just my brain explodes. Variables in go to, and then he changes the same functions like in 3 consecutive patches, and he's adding new stuff, not removing stuff he just added. So it's good, but it's hard to follow if you just look into at the patches, not at the final product.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same boat, so don't feel bad.
At first, I want to get it going, and see if it works. Hopefully today.
Okay.
Or maybe I just base my guess on 7.0 and avoid all these complications.
And avoid it. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I will talk to you guys at the next one, and and next time I will try to check in advance if folks are going to be here for some of the agenda items, and so we can have a good discussion. So I'll do that.
I will be. I just screwed up my schedule today a little bit.
Okay, no worries. Yeah,
couldn't join from the car.
like we missed Yulu and we missed Anish, so it gets a little bit more difficult. But yeah, so I'll try to follow up with them for next time. Okay, folks. Thanks a lot. We will see you at the next one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Yep. Bye.